Good morning, Nick Cleary, Operations Section Chief, Team 15, with your Tuesday, September 3rd coffee pot update. Our updated acreage as of today with IR is 11,953 acres. I'm going to start in Branch 10, Division Alpha. Crews began to pull a bunch of hose and continue to monitor and patrol the bottom section of Division Alpha. Coming from Hellespot 9 all the way to 3, everything's looking good, and we should actually, as of yesterday, have increased containment between Hellespot 5 and Hellespot 3. Coming into the division break of Charlie and Alpha, crews continue to monitor and walk the line. We do still have some heat out in this section, kind of by the Case Mountain Groves. Crews are continuing to monitor and probably have another day's worth of work to make sure this is all buttoned up and back to our control lines. Coming into Division Echo, a lot of good work done yesterday with that 50-acre spot. Up at the top here, we were able to get a dozer line into the middle to increase the crew's success of going direct on the line. We put a bunch of crews and aircraft in here, and they're able to come up from the bottom and the top and start putting direct handline in. They're almost 80% contained on that 50-acre slop over. Coming into East Fork, they're continuing to monitor the fire as it backs down to the East Fork. And then moving into Hotel, the fire continued to back into East Fork and is holding south of East Fork, and also made it into Eden Creek. Today's objectives are to make sure that we're monitoring the fire and keeping it south of the East Fork and west of Eden Creek as it continues to back in. This is our main control feature. Up top here, we're going to start looking at some indirect line just to have another strategic secondary line in place if this thing were to get any wind or get into alignment. Coming into Juliet, our 2W wildfire use modules and our Type 1 crew are continuing to put in and improve the indirect line, and also going to continue to connect it into Horse Creek. They were able to pick up another spot that they had over by H10, and everything is staying within that indirect hand line. We had good IR flight, and there is still a little bit of heat, so having that extra crew in there is good to have that horsepower to make sure that all the stuff stays west of their indirect hand line. Coming down to the Lima, a little bit of heat still down in this 40-acre slop over that we had a couple days ago. One more day of having a Type 1 crew in there monitoring and making sure that this is connected back into Scratch Creek. On the bottom of Oscar, all backhoe, patrol, and mop up, everything's looking really good, and we're actually starting to pull some of the equipment out of there. Tonight we'll be hosting a community meeting at the Three Rivers Memorial Building at 6 p.m. Thank you, and that was your operational update.